Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to demonstrate the Maclaurin series. Basically, the Maclaurin series is a Taylor series, but centered at 0. We're going to use the f of x is equal to e raised to x as our example, and it is centered at 0. We're going to get the f prime of x, which is still e of x even up to the f4 prime of x. Then the f prime of 0. So if we change the value of x to 0, basically it's still e raised to 0 even up to the f4 prime of x. So why do we have to get the f prime to the f4 prime of x? Because we'll be using this in creating and forming our Maclaurin series, or basically our series. So let's start writing our series. We need to remember the values, okay? So I hope you're taking notes together with me while watching this video. So we're going to start to write the series. F of x is equal to f c, f of c plus f of c times x minus c prime plus f2 prime of c times x minus c squared over 2 prime plus f triple prime of c times x minus c raised to 3 over 3 plus f 4 prime of c x minus c raised to 4 over 4. So these are also prime. So this also has a 1 prime, but basically it's equivalent to 1, so we're just going to neglect it. This is the format of our series, Maclaurin series, even on Taylor series. But here on Maclaurin series, the c here, we're going to change it to 0. Then we're going to change the function into e raised to x. So even other given, for example, cosine or sine, we could easily substitute those values into this format. Um, we're going to only get the first 5 terms, but it could continue so on and so forth. So let's write this with the proper values right here. So f of 0, okay, so f of 0 is equal plus 5. So let's change this one. Sorry. So this will be e raised to 0. Then x minus, we are centered to 0, so basically we're going to change every c to 0. There we go. And then we're going to change this all f triple prime, f double prime, even the f4 prime into the e raised to 0, because that's the previous condition that we have earned, right? So this is basically the series of the e raised to x and centered at 0. Then let's simplify this one into a much basic series. So e raised to x is equal to is equal to 1 plus x plus x squared over 2 prime plus x cubed over 3 prime plus x raised to 4 over 4 prime, and so on. But if we're only going to get the first 5 terms of the e raised to x, this is what we're going to come up to. Just to be clear, the e raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, for example, the first term, okay, the f of 0 rather, is equal to e raised to 0, and it's equal to 1. So here it is. So all of the e raised to 0 disappeared because they only, or if we simplify it, they simply multiply into 1. Therefore, they vanish in this series. If we're going to write this in a closed form, this is what we'll get. E of x is equal to the summation of x of n over n prime. N is equal to 0 and towards infinity. So let's try this thing out. Let's try for the first term. Okay. So let's start with 0, okay. So let's start with n is equal to 0, 0, 0, x raised to 0, and 0. So 0 prime is equal to 1, x raised to 0 is equal to what? Is equal to 1. Am I right? So x raised to 1, then 1 prime is simply x, because this is 1 over 1, so it will be canceling out, and therefore we are left with 1. And so on, and so the closed form of the f of x is equal to e of x is this one, summation of x raised to n over n prime, with n is equal to 0 and towards infinity. And at this point, we have just solved it.